Welcome back to the Happy Viking Devlog series and the long-anticipated map gen video. So the map generation has changed a lot since we started working on the game a year and a half ago. It's gone through many iterations, starting with the wave function collapse algorithm inspired by Bad North and Oskar Stålberg. Essentially, it's like you have a bunch of puzzle pieces that are tiles that fit next to each other, and by process of elimination it'll assign a tile. Like a simple one would be you have land, coast, and water tiles. You need a coast tile between a water and a land tile, and it can fill up a space using those arguments. However, while it worked for Bad North in the condensed environment, it doesn't necessarily work with our game, which has a large map. So yeah, we weren't satisfied with that, so we moved on to other potential options. We tried out a texture-based one where we generate textures for the ground, but that one was too slow and also not really up to our standards of what we wanted. And then we eventually settled on using Voronoi generation to create different tiles, which ended up working out very well. Given a 2D or 3D grid of points, 2D in our case, a line sweeps across, and as the line passes a point, a parabolic curve is determined by the distance from that line. And as the line continues to sweep across, these curves will intersect with each other and encapsulate boxes around points, creating these irregular polygons. After the initial set of polygons is created, one can use Lloyd relaxation or a variant of Lloyd relaxation to make sure these polygons are a little more even out, because while randomness is, like, most people think of randomness as a bunch of points splayed across, generally randomness, like, clumps together a lot more than people think. So to get quasi-randomness, which is more even distribution similar to Poisson sampling, which we'll look at later in this video, quasi-randomness allows it so the different regular polygons will be roughly the same size. So Lloyd relaxation, basically, it takes the middle of the polygon and moves its point to that spot, and then redoes the Fortune's algorithm. So after we generated the regular polygons using Voronoi diagram generation, we determined what each tile was using a height map and a biomap, as well as a fall-off map to make sure the edges of the map were water, and that way it was all just kind of one big island. That was inspired by Sebastian Lague's procedural generation tutorial. Shout out to him. And using these maps, we were able to get a large clump of tiles. Here is a forest, here is a plain, and here is a sea or ocean. At this point, we have the foundation of the map complete, and in order to make it appear less flat, we added a ground texture and using UV mapping tiled it across the entire map, which also allowed for when buildings are placed and the brown mud texture, which is identical to the forest texture, it'll continue to intersect seamlessly. Similar to map generation, the placement of trees and plants also took several iterations. We started off with Poisson sampling, which was helped out by Sebastian Lague's Poisson sampling video. But after we implemented it, we learned that it doesn't necessarily work with what we're doing. And even when we use different radii for the different biomes, the blend isn't really the feel that we wanted. We preferred the very defined borders between forest and plains. So we eventually settled on using tile by tile Voronoi with an amount of points in each tile determined by the biome of said tile. Eventually we didn't want the plains to have spread out trees, so we combined it into one grove prefab, which contained like 3 to 4 trees and looked a little cuter, and also allowed our open area for building. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Next up, we got city building, and after that, combat mechanics. All right, we're out.